Step number 5. Recognize revenue as and when entity satisfies its performance obligations. An entity shall recognize revenue as and when the entity satisfies a performance obligation by transferring a promised goods or services, that is an asset, to a customer. An asset is transferred when the customer obtains control of that asset. That means on transfer along with control, the revenue will be recognized by the entity. What do you mean by control? Control of an asset refers to ability to direct the use and obtain substantially all the benefits from the asset, or ability to prevent others from directing the use of the asset. Control of an asset means controlling the use of the asset. In addition, an entity shall consider indicators of the transfer of control, which include the following. Following are the indicators for transfer of control. The entity has a present right to payment for the asset, and the customer has legal title to the asset. The entity has transferred physical possession of the asset, and the customer has the significant risks and rewards of ownership of the asset, and the customer has accepted the asset. That means here transfer will take place. Along with transfer, legal title, control should be transferred by entity to the customer, and customer should accept it. If all the indicators are satisfied, then revenue will be recognized. Next, control may be transferred either over a period or at a point in time. So generally, control may be transferred either at one point of time or over a period of time. In case of transfer of control over a period of time, an entity transfers control of goods or services over a period of time, and satisfies a performance obligation and recognizes revenue over time if any of the following criteria are met. If any of the following conditions are satisfied or criteria are met, it is said that control is transferred over a period of time. First one, customer simultaneously receives and consumes the benefits provided by the entity's performance as the entity performs. Example, in case of routine or recurring services like cleaning services, routine transaction processing services, hotel management services. In such a case, revenue is recognized over a period of time. Second case, entity's performance creates or enhances an asset that the customer controls as the asset is created or enhanced. Example, in case of construction contracts, where contractor engages to construct a specific asset for the customer on customer's land. In such a case, revenue is recognized over a period. Third case, asset being created does not have an alternative use to the seller, and on cancellation, the entity has right to payment for the performance completed to date. That means asset has no alternative use. An entity has a right to payment for the performance completed till date. In such a case also, revenue is recognized over a period of time. Generally, in case of cancellations, compensations will be paid. Compensation includes cost incurred for work completed plus a reasonable profit margin. A small compensation or flat penalty on termination does not tantamount to legally enforceable right for work completed. That means a small compensation or flat penalty in case of termination will not be considered as a legally enforceable right for the work completion. Next, transfer of control at a point in time. If none of the three cases are met, then revenue is recognized at a point in time. Next, what are the methods of measuring progress if control is transferred over a period of time? There are two methods for recognizing revenue on contracts involving the transfer of goods or services over a period of time. First one is input method, second one is output method. Methods of measuring progress. First one, output based method. Recognize revenue on the basis of fair value of goods or services transferred to date relative to the remaining goods or services. Examples, surveys of performance completed to date, appraisals of results achieved, etc. So based on surveys and appraisals, revenue is recognized under output based method. Second method, input based method. As per input based method, recognize revenue based on entity's effort or input or cost incurred to satisfy the performance obligations. Examples of input-based method is resources consumed, labor hours expended, cost incurred, time elapsed, or machine hours used. Here, exclude abnormal losses and wastages from the cost incurred calculation as they do not contribute to satisfying performance obligations. In case of unused materials, we would adjust the input method and calculate stage of completion based on used material only. That means the unused material should be recognized only to the extent of cost incurred. If the inputs or costs are incurred evenly, then we can use the straight line method. Next, transfer of control at a point in time. If none of the three cases of transfer of control over a period of time are not satisfied, then performance obligation is considered to be discharged at a point in time. In such a case, recognize revenue at a point in time only.